Good evening, everybody on YouTube. Steve Raiken here with the Raiken Profit YouTube channel, coming to you guys with another live show. And today we are switching things up, and we're going to be starting a brand new series, another live show series. But this is a brand new series based on popular demand. A lot of people have been asking about this. They said, Steve, what about women's clothing? We've covered men's clothing. We've talked about dress shirts, blazers, sport coats, suits. I mean, we've talked about accessories such as belts, ties. I mean, look back in the Rake and Profit archives. We've covered a lot of various topics within the realm of selling used men's clothing on eBay. But a lot of people are asking, Steve, what about women's clothing? What about women's clothing? There's a lot of women's clothing out there that I see at thrift stores, garage sales. I want to pick it up, but I'm just not sure what to buy and sell. So, again, due to popular demand, we're going to be starting this series up and we're going to be covering a lot of different various types of items. And today's show is the best women's clothing to sell on eBay, episode number 1, women's jackets. So we're going to be covering women's jackets tonight. We're also going to be covering in the following videos, jeans, shirts, dresses, blouses, all different types of things. But yeah, again, guys, just wanted to come to you guys with another video to help you out. Let me do a quick technical check right now to make sure that everything is working properly. So bear with me for one moment. If you can hear me okay, be sure to let me know in the comment section as I do a quick check. I want to make sure this video isn't set on unlisted because I may have done that accidentally. So bear with me for one moment. There is a live comment section right now. Just want to let you guys know. So if you are watching live, be sure to leave a comment. Okay, looks like everything is good. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. I'm going to be shouting some people out. Also, if you like this video and you're interested in this women's clothing series that I'm going to be starting up, hit that like button. Let me know that you want to learn about women's clothing, and I will make a lot more videos about it. So, okay, let me check the comment section and see what is going on. All right, Jacob is being a smartass in the comments section. Good to see you, Jacob. Ricky Birchfield is saying, this should be a very good one for me. Never really looked at women's clothes. Thanks, Steve. You got it. The beautiful Full Me 1985. I like selling shoes better than anything. What's up, Jacob Soto, my man, Katie Crush. So, yeah, let's dive into this live show. And again, guys, as you know, I don't sell women's clothing. I sell mostly men's clothing. But like I've said previously, if you want to start selling a new type of item, you've got to start researching it. You've got to jump in and you've got to start studying the brands, the styles, taking a look at what the sellers are doing to be successful. How are they taking pictures? What measurements are they included? What are they doing that I need to be doing in order to be successful? So that's the purpose of this video, guys, to get you acquainted with women's clothing if you've never sold it before like myself. What brands are hot, what styles are in demand, and this is going to be something that we're going to have to do over the long haul. You're not going to just understand everything right off the bat, which obviously Jacob. Anyways, guys, it takes time to learn something new. So, yeah, hopefully this can be a step in the positive in the positive direction. All right. So here we are on eBay, as you can see. We typed in women's clothing jackets. We're under the women's clothing category. And if you scroll down to the left-hand side under the condition, we have pre-owned. Under format, we have buy it now. Item location, US only. And we have sold listings. So also $50 plus. And the reason we have those is because most of the items we find, if you're sourcing traditional locations like thrift stores and garage sales, most of the items you find are going to be pre-owned. So I want to put pre-owned under that criteria because those are going to be the types of items that we're going to be finding, and that's what we want to study. 50 to infinity. The reason for that is because we want to be studying items that sell for really good margins. $50 plus is typically going to have enough margins in there for you to make some money. So with that being said, let's dive into this show and learn about the best women's clothing to sell on eBay. Episode number 1, women's jackets. All right, so it looks like we have an item right here that took a best offer under $475, and it looks like the brand is Oak Janet Kaneko, Los Angeles. So it looks like we got an LA West Coast Cali brand right here. Take a look at this item. Definitely some interesting details going on here. Just based on the price, I'm assuming it's very high end. So I like that this seller has a full-sized mannequin for this item right here. I guess they call it a jacket. It looks more like a dress to me. Let me know for the ladies who are in the house right now. Why is this considered a jacket? I'm not sure. So here's the brand right here. It states combining vintage embroidered fabrics with painted silks and velvet. Original price $1,200. So that's pretty crazy right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this brand right here. I'm going to open up another tab on eBay. And what I'm going to do is take a look at this brand. Holy mackerel. There's something for sale for $15.99. Let's hit the sold listings real quick, see what's going on. So there's not much coming up. I go back to the unsold items. There's not a lot being shown here. I see some other random things. These are different brands. So yeah, probably going to be a harder item to come across. So let's keep moving on, try to find some more common items. Here's a brand right here that I've actually picked up when it comes to men's clothing. I want to say the brand is Givenchy. And this is a higher end brand. This is leather, a leather jacket. And it's crazy. There's a big difference between a leather jacket in women's versus men's. Size 36. So that's one thing that I noticed off the top with women's clothing versus men's is there's a number instead of a letter. You know, instead of having a small, medium, large. I've seen that before with women's. It's sized as if it's almost like a blazer or a sport coat with men's clothing. So this sold for $99. One bid, $99 with $12.50 shipping. Let's take a look at the tag right here. Givenchy Paris. So I can't tell if this item is very wrinkled or this is the style. Gonna say right off the bat, the pictures aren't very impressive, but maybe it's just that high end of an item that you didn't need to have really good pictures, and it happens sometimes. We were talking about that today with Mike Peterson, the treasure gnome. Certain items they'll just sell. As long as the pictures are half decent, it'll sell. Ruffles, leather, shoulder to shoulder, 13 and a half waist length and sleeves. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that this seller decided to include four measurements, which is good to know. I'm not sure if this is the norm when it comes to selling women's clothing, especially an item like this, but there are those four measurements. So I'm going to keep that in mind, waist and shoulder to shoulder. So as you know, women definitely have more curves, and women, in my opinion, are a little more pickier when it comes to clothing. They want it to fit right. And there's a few areas that men don't have. So, I'm assuming you're going to have to take more measurements just right off the bat. Picking for profit in the house. What's going on? Pittsburgh Mike stating that those picks are so terrible. Uh-oh. In Hell 4 right now, listing on eBay and listening to you. So appreciate everybody checking in and watching right now. Not a ton of people watching live right now, which usually there's a lot more people watching. So maybe there's not a ton of interest in women's clothing, but you want to know what? That's really good for us because it means that most people aren't interested, which means there may not be as much competition from the YouTube community. But anyways, let's keep moving on and taking a look at some of these items that have sold. Here's a BB Dakota Bostwick coat, $89.99. Here's a brand. I've actually picked up this brand, I think once in the past, but I did pick it up the other day within a men's shorts. The brand is Lululemon or Lululemon. People pronounce it different ways, but this is a great brand, guys. Even for men's clothing, but you're going to find this most common with women's clothing. Take a look at the women at the gym, and you'll see this brand very, very often with the pants, the shirts, the jackets, the light athletic gear. This is a very, very, very popular item, and this is an item that and a brand that you want to be on the lookout for. I know that already off the bat. Now, again, with clothing, certain colors, sizes, materials, styles, factors come into play when it comes to determining the value of an item and how quickly it'll sell. So I want to just say that, first and foremost. But Lululemon is a great brand. It's an excellent brand, and it's very, very popular. This looks great. Love the design. Love the color. It looks like it's a full zip. A lot of attention to detail going on with this item right here. And it sold for $65. Item condition states excellent condition. No rips, tears, or stains. Rip tag is gone because this jacket is reversible. So it's a reversible jacket sold from California. Lululemon Find Your Bliss jacket, reversible, size 6. So it's size 6 right here, black mesh, heat wave black, white pattern on the other side. So right off the bat, guys, this is a brand you want to be on the lookout for. Let's keep moving. Here is a St. John Couture, sparkling purple black woman's blazer. So my good friend Ronnie over at Hearts Pickers has spoken of this brand before in the past, and he's sold items within this brand, the St. John brand, for $200, $300, $400. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure which items within this brand are super popular, but I know this is a very, very popular brand, the St. John here, and I'm pretty confident we're going to find this popping up in the sold listings throughout the night tonight. Take a look at the tag. Bada bing, bada boom, St. John. 99 Buckaroos Hot Lips _02 sold that and made some quick cash on this item. Dressy daytime or evening wear, tweed fabric in shades of purple and black, stunning black rhinestone button. The picture looks like there is gold in the button color, but it is jet black, sparkling, in good condition. No odors, no rips, no stains. Now, I did notice that there are no measurements being recorded on this listing, and that scares me. It scares me with men's clothing when people don't include measurements. Now, there's some people who state, it's not necessary. And the interview that I had today with the treasure gnome, he says he has less than a 3% return rate when it comes to men clothing, and he doesn't include measurements on a lot of them because he says his customers know what they're looking for. So, maybe you can get away with it with men's clothing, but I'd be a little scared with women's just because I know, there's that certain type of fit. It's a different type of body. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. So I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you sell women's clothing. Do you include measurements? I'd be curious to know. Thrifty Treasures. He makes me want to sell clothes too. Picking for Profit says, I'll be honest, I don't like selling clothes on eBay, but I do find some great stuff every now and then. And because of you, I pick it up. Well, you know what? If there's money to be made, then drink some lemonade. That's my saying right there. Don't know what it means, but good for you, man. Pick it up, make some money for sure. They're watching Ronnie and Chad. Uh-oh, the big dogs are on live right now. It's all good. If this video can help out at least one or two people, I'll be happy. So I'm glad to have you guys here, and let's keep moving on. Okay, so what do we have here? Here's another Lululemon. I'm going to call it Lululemon because I like the sound of that. Here is a North Face jacket. So I'm sure all you clothing sellers out there already know this brand, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. But I just want to admire this item. I know if Pittsburgh Mike is in the house, he'd enjoy this item. Nice puffy jacket right here, North Face on the front. You got the blue contrasting with the blue purple. I don't know, I'm somewhat colorblind. We'll call it blue, contrasting with the black with the white embroidery of the North Face. Beautiful item, 75 Buckaroos, extra small. Hello, and thank you for your purchase. Your interest in this item and shopping with us. Let's see, no measurements. Check this out, guys, right here. They included the measurements, but they never filled it out. I've actually done that before. I'm not going to lie. What this person's doing and what they've done is they copied and they pasted their clothing template on into the eBay description, but they forgot to fill out a few parts of it. So if there's anyone nice out there, send them a private message and say, yo, he didn't fill out the measurements, but actually it's sold, so don't do that. All right, here's another one of those St. John items right here, $59.99. I'm gonna start poking through the women's items. I'm gonna start poking. I'm gonna try to find this brand right here, St. John collection. It always confuses me when you see winning bid and then you see the price. I'm going to assume that was the price it sold for, $29.99. Okay, let's keep going down the list. Here's a Blaine Trump knit. So I'm not sure what the brand is. I'm going to say that Blaine is the brand. Let's take a look at the pictures. Okay, so Blaine Trump is the brand. Let's take a look at this listing and then let's copy and paste this into the search bar to see what else is selling within this brand. So I'm noticing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measurements out there. 6 measurements out there. That's not getting me too excited. I know for the folks who sell clothing, it could be a little bit of a pain in the butt to include the measurements, but you want to know what? It is what it is because, I'd rather take the time to measure the item properly and provide my customer with that information versus getting that dreaded email. You know what I'm talking about. You get that notification that there's an email in your inbox and you open it up and it's the return. It's a killer. I hate seeing it, but what are you going to do? This sold for $69.95, and this is under the jacket category. Doesn't look like a jacket, but maybe these long, almost like these long overcoat dresses. I don't know how to call it, but it's coming up under the jacket category. $69.95. Let's take that brand Blaine Trump. Go. Is this Blaine Trump under women's clothing? And let's see what else is selling, guys, because I can't say it enough. All because an item sells, a brand sells, for $60, $70, it doesn't mean that every other item out there is going to sell for that within the brand. I've got to get that across to you. So let's hit the sold listings. Already I can tell that this is a brand that you're going to have to pay attention to what's in demand. What's in demand? I don't know. We're still going through the sold listings, but $5.95, best offer under 29, same thing. $4.99. Here's something that was kind of similar to this. $14.99. So this isn't doing so well. It's not doing that well at all. Here's a oh, this is cool. Let's go off track a little bit. Here's a women's embroidered Western shirt, $34.99. They're calling it new without tags. What do you guys think about that when people sell items new without tags? It's, in my opinion, it's either new or used. If it doesn't have a tag, then in my opinion, it's used. But you can get away with it. But my motto has always been under promise and over deliver. So, if you sell it new without tags and there's a little stain on it, you're probably going to get a return. But anyways, $34.99 right here. Very nice embroidery of some flowers. Got the pearl snaps. If you've ever wondered what a pearl snap shirt is, it's the shirts with that little pearl on the button. Instead of a button, it's a little pearl snap right there. So that's a pearl snap item right there. If you ever come across a Western shirt, a cowboy shirt with the pearl snaps that has an embroidery, there's a good chance there's going to be some value in that item right there. So just be aware of that. Okay, so we're about 17 minutes into this broadcast. Want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching live right now. The best women's clothing to sell on eBay, episode number 1, jackets. This is a brand new series that we have started, and we're going to be diving into all various types of women's clothing to learn the best brands, styles, and types of items to make money on eBay. If you are watching live right now, smash that like button. If you are watching the replay, down the road, whether it's a day, a month, or a year, hit that like button again just because you rock. All right, let's keep moving. All right, so here's a Burberry jacket that sold for 75. We all know that brand. Here's something very interesting. This women's item sold for $114.99 on eBay. So it looks like the brand is Powell Peralta. I'm going to say, or maybe that's just the patch. I'm not sure what the brand is. Okay, Tiger Bay. So the brand is Tiger Bay, and it's got this Powell Peralta patch on it, which I'm not sure what that means. Skateboards. So maybe it's some type of skateboarding gang or whatnot. I'm not 100% sure. But it's got that cool, old school motorcycle type of look to it. Very interesting. Almost looks like a Levi's jacket if it was blue. Tiger Bay. So size extra small. Not sure why it's going for so much money. acid wash denim, Tiger Bay brand. Let's take a look at the Tiger Bay brand. Tiger Bay women's clothing. This is how it's done, guys. This is how you learn. So I'm not seeing anything else coming up under that Tiger Bay brand. Not sure what's going on. Powell is a skater in Peralta is another skateboarder. Cool. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate it. Smart ass. No, I'm just kidding, man. Appreciate you rocking out with me, Jacob. Those are two skaters on a denim washed item. 114 buckaroos. Here we have a BCBG Max item right here. It's coming up under as a Francis tuxedo, Kate Black. This item sold for $160. So, if you guys are just coming on, guys and gals are just coming on to this broadcast, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Women's clothing is selling on eBay. Now, these are various types of items. Some of them, maybe higher end brands, certain types of styles, but it's evident that there are women's items out there that are selling. There's probably a good chance that you've walked into a thrift store, didn't find anything, but the next person, probably a woman, walked in, went to the women's clothing rack and found a BCBG Max item or a St. John's couture item or a Burberry jacket or that Tiger Bay denim washed item, so this is just another type of item that you could look into when you're at a thrift store. The worst thing is walking into a thrift store, taking your time to drive there and walking out empty handed because you wasted your time. What you want to do is learn, educate, and grow as much as possible in terms of what items you could be on the lookout for. It's all about knowledge. So that's what we're doing here, guys. We're growing our knowledge bank, and hopefully this will give you another avenue to be able to look into. Here's a fur item, took a best offer under $199. Authentic Burberry quilted jacket, extra large women's, $122. Free People wash black denim moto short jacket, $59.99. Let's open that up and see what's going on. Item condition states worn once. Weird little item right here. It's a whole different game messing with women's clothing. I'll say that much. So I think the brand is called Free People. I'm looking for the tag. It's just the tag right here. Yep. So you can see that in the little metal piece. Free People is the brand. $59.99. Let's take a look a little deeper into that brand to see what is happening in the streets when it comes to this brand. Let's go pre-owned. It looks like this stuff is doing pretty well off the top. So let's go to buy it now. Let's hit sold. Okay, so let's take a look at what's selling. Here's a Free People women's red hooded jacket, $31.95. Looks like we got a shirt at $15. Here's a little blouse for $34.99. This didn't do so well, only coming in at $5.98. So it looks like this brand is all over the place. This reminds me of when I was doing that live show with glassware, completely over my head and a little confused. And if you're feeling the same way as I am right now, it's normal. It's okay. I felt like this with all different types of items, from books to electronics to retail arbitrage items to men's clothing. And eventually you study it long enough and you start to make distinctions. You start to realize, oh, that style does well within that brand. Oh, that color does well. Oh, bigger sizes do better. So, don't get discouraged if a lot of this is going over your head. It's going over my head as well. But you need to start somewhere. It all starts with the same with the first step, right? You don't want to try to build a huge wall. Will Smith says this. His parents taught him this. Will Smith's parents taught him, you don't want to just, try to build the biggest wall ever. You want to start by laying the first brick, right? Take that first brick and lay that brick. Make it the best brick that's ever been laid. And if you focus on that day in and day out, eventually you'll have the strongest wall that nobody can break through. And it's the same with your business. Start on day one of researching items, figure out, oh, Free People does well with that style. Oh, Burberry quilted jackets do well, $122, and lay that brick, study, educate day number one, and do it day in and day out, and you will get the hang of it. Here is a vegan's worst nightmare. We've got a fur coat, raccoon fur. So I don't know how many raccoons it took to kill to put this thing together, but it's a pretty crazy item. Looks like Yeah, looks pretty insane right there. $99.97. Have you guys ever come across fur in your local thrift store? I've seen it quite a few times, but I've never picked it up. So if anyone has a any tips on buying and selling fur, please drop a comment below. Thrifty Treasure says I include the measurements for sure. You are looking great, Steve. Thank you so much, KSCH. I appreciate it. Pittsburgh Mike says, as far as being a professional, I think pictures should be on that level if you want to be a serious seller. All all else you need, I suppose, is a good condition description and measurements for clothes. So I definitely agree. If you want to be taken serious as a professional, you need to take professional pictures. So let's keep moving, guys, on this journey of learning what jackets are selling within the women's niche on eBay. Here's a brand, NAU, women's black caviar. I don't know what this is, but it's a little trench goose down item. 98 bucks. Want to say right off the top, the picture looks tremendous. They did a great job with the picture. They somehow got that beautiful white background. Doesn't this look great, guys? Take a look at it. It's a beautifully taken picture. This is something you want to try to replicate right here. And here's the brand. It looks like NAU. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Is that an A? Yes, it is. Great item. Looks like they included a stock item as well to show people what they'll look like when they purchase it. Cool. So very nice item right here. Looks like they've included 1, 2, 3, 4 measurements. The length, underarm to underarm, flat, sleeve, and shoulder. Do not go by size tag along. Uh, do not go by size tag alone. Check the measurements of a similar item you own against the item's measurements. I'm really glad they stated that in the comments. And this has happened to me before too, where I measure an item. It just happened the other day. I was measuring a Ralph Lauren sport coat, and the chest was coming in at 21 across, uh, which would make it a 38. It was a 38 regular measuring in at, but the tag was saying 42. So I stated that in the comment section. I forgot to say, don't go by the tag size, look at the measurements. And somebody asked me a question like, what's going on here? So it's always good to mention that. Hopefully these buyers are actually reading the description. Darren says, I'm not a clothing seller, but I like to be here. So I appreciate it, Darren, hanging out with us for sure. Appreciate it. Anyone else having trouble with the chat? So if you're having any trouble with the chat, let us know. We got California Pickett in the house. What's going on, CP? So it looks like YouTube's having a glitch with the comments. So let's keep moving on with these brands. Okay, so here's a Gucci item, best offer under 450. Women's Jill Sander yellow cashmere jacket, blazer size 36. So this is a brand that I've heard of in the past, Jill Sander. And I've heard that this brand does very well. I've actually looked at it before because there was actually a certain time, just a couple of years ago, where I was going to buy a Jill Sanders item, but I passed on it for some reason. I think it was priced kind of high. Yep, I remember that tag, made in Italy. Let me grab a drink real quick. Take a look at that tag. Jill Sander yellow cashmere jacket. Cashmere always does well. One of those materials that you want to be on the lookout for sure. Even with men's clothing, it does well. No name brands brand some pretty decent cash. Long sleeves, double vented back, lined, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measurements. So they've included the shoulder measurement, sleeve, the bust. I'm not sure what the bust is. Waist, hip. I'm not sure how to get the hip measurement and the length. So very interesting. Let's dive into this brand a little more. Jill Sander Women's Clothing. I'm going to show you guys that this brand does pretty well. Now, it's been a while, so don't take my word for it, but I believe it does pretty well. Let's see what we have coming up. Let's go down to the sold listings. All right. Here's another cashmere item, best offer under 128. Check this puppy out right here. Jill Sander Lavender sleeveless dress, size 38, $102.50 with 16 bids. That's what I like to see right there. $49.99, 26, 15, 80, 24, 39. So this is a brand right now, guys, that if you come across it, just look it up. You know, what I would do is if I came across, let's just say I came across this item, which in all honesty, if I found it, I'd have no clue the value. But I would know that Jill Sander is a brand that I studied. So what I would do is once I saw this, I'd say, okay, that's a brand I'm familiar with. I remember whoever talking about it, or I saw in, Raiken Profit show. I would go to eBay and I would type in Jill Sander top, or try to figure out what the type of item is. Blouse, white, size 34. That's what I would type in, and I would try to find the exact item sold on eBay. I would type in sold, and I'd hit click. So yeah, just try to find a similar item and see what it's selling for. That's how I price my items. I price it based on comparable sales. So find an item, same color, same size, same style, see what it's sold for, try to find a few of them that have sold and come to a value. And that's what I would do. So if this item was marked at 10 bucks, if I after my research I discovered that they're selling between 39 to 49 bucks, I would pop on it all day long. Given that they're selling often, because the margins are there, and I could definitely double up my money if not more. Mr. Sadie in the house, 123. Bubba, God's Fave is saying Steve is not blocking us. YouTube glitch. Refresh the page. Should fix it. So yeah, it looks like YouTube's having some glitches, guys. If you guys are watching live right now, smash that like button, guys. We're only at 17 likes. I want more. I need more likes, guys. So hit it. Show some love. This is what it's all about, guys. Learning together. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I really do. I could have easily just went upstairs and, got into bed, but I'm like, you know what? I have fun. I love hanging out with you guys. I love researching, educating with everybody, and it's really a blast. I'm really grateful to have you guys in my life. So just want to say that off the bat. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and everything. I really am grateful to have you guys here. Here's an item that's sold for $99.99. It's a cool little item. A Carol Tompkins, looks like. The title is saying Lucy, big shirt, Asian inspired print jacket, plus size. And then there's all these numbers. So I'm not sure what that means. The Big Shirt by Carol Tompkins. So I'm going to look this up real quick and see if all these items are doing well. The Big Shirt Carol Tompkins. I believe that's how you spell it out. Let's see what is going on here. Let's hit sold. Is this new or used? I'm not sure. $29.99. That same shirt. $35.19. 36. Whoa! Look at this. I know we're going off on a tangent real quick. We're going out of our realm of jackets, but I can't take it. Look at this guy, Ralph Lauren, the Big Pony Collection. Check out this shirt. 36 bucks. That's cool, guys. Imagine walking into a thrift store. You see this for $2 at your Salvation Army at a half day. $2. It's going to cost you $4 to ship. You're up to 6. Sell for this much, they're going to take, I don't know, $4 in fees. You're up to 10. I mean, what is that? 20, 30. That's a $26 profit. I mean, that's not bad for 5-10 minutes of your time. It's really cool right there. Let's keep moving. All right, so things are getting weird. Let's go back. Motley Crue. Best offer under 99 bucks. Gianni Versace women's item under 1350. Best offer accepted. Another Lululemon item 65. This is a super high end brand. I don't know how to pronounce it. Bada bing, bada boom. If you ever find that, you're gonna retire soon. Long black leather jacket by Mark New York, Andrew Mark. Best offer under 79. Chanel. Here's another very high end brand. I always say this when you get to the high end brands, you always want to authenticate it. How? Just type in eBay, authenticate, fill in the blank. Chanel, very popular with the women's handbags and purses. Take a look at the logo, the C's backwards going interlinking with one another. Chanel right there, 155 bucks. Here's a brand I've never heard of before. Let's try to pronounce it. Acris Punto. Size 12, beautiful blue raw silk texture. $149.70. Let's take a look at this brand right here. Acris Punto. Here's a bunch of bras being sold. I know Jason T. Smith talked about selling bras. I've never sold one, but I heard there's really good money in selling bras. I don't know, maybe used as well. Um, yeah, interesting though. It's a whole nother world, guys. I'm fascinated by all these items that are selling. I really am. I could only imagine how much money I've lost out on by not looking in the women's clothing section. I mean, you ever walk into a thrift store and you go through the men's clothing items and you find a jackpot? I mean, imagine how many jackpots you walked right by and you didn't even realize it. Imagine all those times you left the thrift store and another person came in and found $100, $200, $300 women's clothing item. I guarantee it's probably happened to you like 100 times if you've been selling for years. It's just crazy, guys. Look at all these items selling. Max Mara, eggplant lined 2 PC long jacket. I'm just reading the titles. I don't even know what this means. $179.99. Here's a Hermes item, $100. Another Lululemon zip jacket, size 10. Best offer under 50. Here's another BB Dakota item, which I've been learning is doing pretty well on eBay for women's clothing. A vintage Hillmore U.S. Fox Arctic Wolf Silver Fox. So again, here's another fur item that is selling. What in the world is this? We've got a Rolling Stones item selling within the women's category under jackets, extra small. Check this out. Trunk Limited, North American Tour 1981, 59.99. So that's a pretty cool item right there. I love the Rolling Stones horses. All right, guys. So there you go. A bunch of women's clothing items that are selling. Hopefully, you've learned something new. Here's a women's Pendleton. Look at that, 114.95. Here's a Marina Rinaldi, 52.46. Masoni. This is another high-end brand that I've bought and sold with men's. It's cool to know that there's actually women's items out here within this brand. One thing I'm learning right off the bat, guys, is, and I've said right off the bat about 10 times. So yeah, right off the bat. One thing I'm learning is there's a lot of high-end men's brands that are also women's brands. So you don't necessarily have to be a pro, right? With women's clothing, knowing all these brands you've never heard of. There's a lot that, that turn over from men's as well. So that's pretty cool to know. Like again here, Lucky Brand. St. John Couture, St. John Collection, best offer under 149. J. Crew, we all know that brand. Another St. John's under 399. Here's another St. John 75 North Face. This is a beautiful item right here. Check this out. A nice quilted puffer North Face jacket, 159.99. Imagine finding that at a thrift store for 30 bucks. It's pretty cool. God's Fab is saying large cup-sized bras sell for good prices. Sports bras are good if you are ungated on Amazon. So thanks for the tip right there. Darren is saying, Mike, the Bonafide Hustler has a new channel. Bod Damn is good on fitness. So yeah, go over to YouTube if you guys want to get in shape. My buddy, the Bonafide Hustler, has a YouTube channel, a new YouTube channel, which he started about a year ago called Bod Damn, BODDAMN. The guy's ripped out of his mind. He's actually been training me the last couple months. He's been getting me in great shape, and I've been making a lot of gains in the gym. So check him out. What about women's accessories? Will that be the next episode? I'm not sure what the next episode is going to be within this women's series. It might be blouses. We're probably going to go with more common items first, and then we'll dive into accessories. I definitely want to do a show on women's bras because I keep hearing that there's a lot of money to be made with these items. Now, will I ever have the balls to go into the bra section at a thrift store? I don't know. Probably not. But for the folks out there who do, or for the women, hopefully that video will help you out. But that's about it, guys. We're at the 38-minute mark. I got to get to bed, but want to come to you guys with this live show talking about the best women's clothing to sell on eBay, episode number 1, jackets. Again, guys, we just touched the tip of the iceberg. We could do this for hours and hours. There's so many brands out there, but I just wanted to kind of get your feet dipped, in the water to get you a feel of what it's like to be looking out for women's clothing to sell on eBay within jackets. This is going to be an ongoing series, the best women's clothing to sell on eBay. We covered jackets today. Make sure to go back into the sold listings and study the jackets more and more, guys. This is going to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to really start to get a grasp and get a good hang of what's buying, what's selling, and what you should buy. 38 minutes is never going to do justice within any category, but really the purpose of this video is to get your feet dipped, to give you an idea of what to look for, to train you of how I study and I research. Typically what I would be doing is I would have a notepad open and I would be writing all these brands down. I'd be writing down anything that I noticed. So some of the things I would have wrote down is obviously the brands that I learned. I would also write down some of the measurements that people are taking. I would write down bust and hip. How do you measure the bust? How do you measure the hip? I would take notes of anything that I'm curious about and I want to learn more about. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You are awesome. Shout out to Kim Young in the house. We got Cheryl. We got God's Fab. We got Mr. Sadie, Jacob Soto. Appreciate it, man. You guys rock. Pittsburgh Mike, thanks for coming in. California Pickin'. A lot of cool peeps in the house. Big Brother, thumbs up. Appreciate it. You guys rock. Keep on picking and making that money. Go make it happen. And I will see you guys in the next installment of the best women's clothing to sell on eBay, episode number 2. What will it be? I'm not sure, but you're going to have to stay posted. Subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Bye.